I just wanted to document this moment because I'm only about 3 years. Yeah, it's only taken me like 3 years or so since this specific thing came out. And I've been umming and ahhing and wanting to get one, and I've just not been able to afford it, especially when it launched. The price was like over 500 quid at the time, and there's been about 3 or 4 iterations of it since. And then they released the slim PS5, and that's what I just bought. They released the slim, and yeah, the slim's meant to be a lot better than the original released version, and also it's a full terabyte hard drive. So I have just been in Currys, and I thought to just have a little browse first, see what the price was, and the price is actually pretty good at the moment for them. Mostly because probably in the next year or so they'll be announcing the PS6, and I've only just recently, 3 years into its life, got a PS5. But hopefully by the time something does come out, there's a lot of like teething problems and updates and stuff at first. So I probably got a good 2 or 3 years out of the I probably get about 2 or 3 years out of the PS5 before anything else comes out, and it works. So yeah, I have been in Currys and I've just bought myself a PS5. If you don't believe me, I shall show you. Yep. Some people might not like my choice of game, especially the the FIFA game, whatever you want to call it, FC26. But I have the PS5 Slim. I've only got the one controller. I got this given for free. It chucked this in for free, which is a twin docking station, which comes in handy for keeping your controllers charged. So I got Spidey 2 and FS26 part of a bundle deal with the PS5. Very happy indeed. So yeah, an expensive day. Well, basically, long story short, I got some birthday money. I didn't get as much as to pay for a full PS5, but I had some money in my bank. Sorry, I had some money in cash, and then I got about, I think, how much did I get? I got about 40 quid, I think, altogether. Yeah, I got about 30 or 40 quid for my birthday, and so I wasn't going to get a PS5 today. I was literally going to go for a drive out and just see what there was. And so I go to Currys, and I thought I'll just have a look and see what the prices are, because I know Currys can be a bit expensive on stuff. However, the price of the PS5 in Currys is the same price on Amazon at the moment. Amazon are about the same. And I was umming and ahhing whether to get it on Amazon and pay in instalments, which would be a bit easier for me than buying it all outright. But no. All I'm going to say is money is actually in a good place at the moment. I can afford this. I have some money in savings thanks to my Christmas hours bonus. Well, not my bonus, but my Christmas hours. I got quite a lot of money for working the hours at Christmas. So, and also with my birthday being, like, my birthday was obviously 28th of November. And this is the first opportunity I've had to actually go out and see if I can get anything for my birthday money. So I just decided to put my birthday money towards the PS5, and I got it as a bundle, so it came with 2 games. It was a 2-game bundle. They had a couple of different bundles. Anyone that's currently still thinking of getting a PS5, they had a couple bundles. They had a bundle that came with an additional controller. They had a bundle that came with, I think, the PlayStation VR headset as well as a game. But at the moment, this is like my entry into the PS5. Obviously, I'm a fan of PlayStation, always have been. I have had an Xbox in the past. I had the Xbox 360, which was a good console, but I've always been a fan of the PlayStation over Xbox, and I found PlayStation usually get a lot more exclusive games than the Xbox. I don't know, I just feel I've always been more comfortable with a PS5 than an Xbox. That's just me personally. And I know some people out there are PC gamers. Some people prefer to play PC. I've never been a fan of PC gaming, so I've always been a console gamer. But no, I've been wanting to get one ever since the PS5 came out. When it first came out, there was some teething problems. There was some problems at first, I believe. And then they released the Slim, which was apparently they rectified some of the issues that the original launched PS5 had. And also they gave it an upgrade in space. They gave it a full terabyte hard drive. In time, I am going to get myself an extra controller, and I might consider getting myself a bigger hard drive for it, because obviously since the PS5's been out for a while, I might upgrade to a bigger capacity hard drive. So, but the thing is, I don't have the most time in the world to play games, and it's every now and again that I ever do play games. But seeing as the PS4, even though you can play the PlayStation 4, if it's like an offline game, if it's a game that's got an offline campaign, you should be fine. However, they are pulling the plug on the PS4 for when it comes to support. They're pulling support, so they're not going to be doing any firmware or update support or anything like that on the PS4 going forward. So the fact that there's going to be no support for the PS4 when it comes to updates and stuff, even though the PS4 is still usable and still playable, but they're just not going to be updating it, and the PS5 is going to be getting all the updates and stuff. The PS5 is going to be getting all the updates. So I just thought, I've got the money, I can afford it. I've done a lot of hours, I've worked hard, so finally treated myself to a PS5. I'm so fucking happy right now. I am just so happy right now. So some people might, like I just said, some people might not like my choice of games, especially the football one. But they didn't have many options on the games. They had Call of Duty 7, they had the Black Ops 7 or whatever it is, but I'm not a big fan of the newer Call of Duty games. I think they've gone a bit stupid. They had the sequel, or the next game for Ghost of, was it Ghost of Yotai? But I haven't played the first one yet, so. But now I've got a PS5, I can start buying the odd game that I've always had my eye on now, and I might get myself Cyberpunk again for the PS5, because the reason for that is that I've got Cyberpunk on PS4. I've got Cyberpunk on PS4, but obviously they brought out a new arc, a new story mode, which was something called Liberty or something, and it had Idris Elba in it. The PS4 version wasn't able to do that DLC, that downloadable extra story mode. It wasn't able to do it because of specs and stuff. So the PS4 version is just the base game, not the normal game. Any other factors that came into play with Cyberpunk, I was unable to play it because of space, and specs wouldn't allow it. So now I've got the PS5. I might have to see about getting Cyberpunk again, and so that I can play the full game and also play the bit with Idris Elba in it as well. So I might have to see about that in due course. But I'm definitely going to get Ghosts, the first Ghost game, and then eventually get Ghost of Yotai, whatever it's called. I've got Spider-Man 2. I got the first Spider-Man game for the PS4, but I've got Spider-Man 2 as well. So I've got my first two PS5 games, which is good. But anyway, so I'm going to go. I just wanted to document this moment because I'm so fucking happy. I've now got to go home and explain it to my dad, because my dad doesn't understand gaming. My dad doesn't understand spending money on video games and stuff. My dad's very old-fashioned in that way. Even though I do have the money, I do have money saved, and even though it wasn't the original plan, but it was a good deal. I got 2 games, part of a bundle, which I got 10% off. So each game gave me 10% off the console. So each game gave me 10% off, and then I got 5-year warranty on it as well. So I've got up to a good 5 years of warranty on it. So if it breaks in the next 5 years, I can either bring it back to Curry's and they can maybe swap it out for a new one, or I can send it back to Sony themselves, because there's a Sony agreement which is for a year. So there's a Sony agreement, so I can actually send the PS5 to Sony, which I'm not going to do because that's going to be stupid. But you know, but they sent me an email receipt, and I've also got it in paper format. So I'm just going to keep that safe. So if anything does happen to it, I have 5-year warranty backing me up, which is good. But yeah, so I have a PS5 now. I have finally joined after a good 3 years or so since the PS5 came out. I have now finally joined the next gen console, the next gen gaming. I know it's late, and I'm not the only one either, because there is a lot of people that have only just got PS5s this Christmas. PS5s are still selling. A lot of people have still never had a PS5. They've still always been either PS4 or an Xbox. A lot of people are still playing the old generation console, which is the PS4 or the whatever was the previous Xbox. So I'm not the only one. There's plenty of people that have been waiting for the price to drop, I think. And I think at the moment, the price of the PS5s is at a good, decent price. I'm not going to say exactly how much I paid, because I don't want all that information out there, but it's just, yeah, it was a good price, and it's the cheapest I've seen it it's the cheapest I've ever seen it, and I don't think it's going to go down as much. I think that's probably going to be its final price, and then eventually the PS6 will come out, and that'll probably be nearly £1,000 probably. But anyway, so thanks a lot, take care everybody. I have now got a PS5 and I'm so happy, and I'm getting blinded by some red lights. Bye bye.